Hey there, everyone. It's Talking Watercolor Day. It's Rusty Nelson, the old Rusty Professor, coming back in. If you're new to the channel, this is my chance to just come in and talk and gain more practice, hopefully speaking somewhat coherently and with some sort of knowledge. But I also kind of dropped the information on what's happening throughout the week and talk about comments. What else do I go over? Anything that people are calling me out on, that's always fun. Geez. What else? What else we got? Oh, anyway. Oh, my plans for the year, how my progress is going on that. So that's kind of what we do here. So we better get started on this. I got a pretty long list today. So let's see here. Yeah, I already did that. I did my intro. I got it right there, my bullet point. All right, let's see here. I'm going to throw that later. Okay, so let's go up. Well, we'll start with what's happening this week in the channel. So I dropped on Saturday a little watercolor tutorial painting pears, and that seemed to do pretty well. And then on Monday, today is when I'm filming this. So Monday of this week, I just dropped a three-quarter view portrait using the Riley method, because my Riley method I posted last Monday did really well. It's got a lot of interest, a lot of people looking at that. So I did the three-quarter view, where the one last Monday I posted was just kind of an overview of the guides and everything you use in the Riley method, and I just drew a face on it, butt ugly face, some guy, and put that onto the overall structure of the Riley method to show you how it kind of works. On this one, I actually used a reference photo, three-quarter view reference photo, and I was actually attempting to catch a likeness if I could. So I didn't do too bad. It does kind of catch the likeness. There's some measurement issues, and that's, if I have any problems, it's typically getting measurements just right. And that's what you really have to get correct if you're looking to catch a likeness. And that, so it's nobody famous. That, God forbid I try to do that yet. So you're on this journey with me as I'm trying to figure out how to draw portraits better using whatever methods and such that I can find. But it turned out pretty well. Let's see, I think the ear was a little small. The head wasn't quite wide enough. The ear was a little small, and I don't think I had enough angle on the mouth in this one. So take a look at it, see what you think. It did turn out pretty nice, so I was happy with it. And again, I started out with the red pencil and sketched out all of the Riley reference rhythms and all that stuff. And I do find that the Riley method is pretty handy. It definitely brings to mind all the shapes that are on the face, where a lot of the folds and shading opportunities exist because of those rhythms. So yeah, give it a look and see what you think. Give it a try. I think you'll like it. I think next week I'm going to be working with another method, and it's more of a blocking in shapes and working with the measurements and placement of things. It's not as linear a system as Loomis or Riley, and I'll do a demo on it and see how it goes as well, and see if that helps me to conquer my likeness mountain that I've been trying to climb for the last few weeks since that initial Loomis method. You know, that was the first time I had drawn a face for a while. and I think I mentioned this last week about if I had any clue that video was going to get like 600 and some thousand views, I would have sat down and maybe practiced a little bit before I did it. But it was a quick, I needed a video to pump out for the week, and I thought, well, hell, let's do a quick overview of Loomis and drawing a quick sketch of a face. So, and they were butt ugly. God, they were ugly. So anyway, you never know. You just never know what's going to go crazy on these videos. So as I'm learning, let's see here. So that's kind of what's, this week's watercolor for Saturday. What was I thinking? I can't remember. I've got something in store. Oh, I know what it was. It's again working with circles and ellipses to create a scene with like ceramic ware in it. And essentially, it's if a student has any problem with a scene or whatever, it's typically perspective, and ellipses are essentially circles in perspective. So you got to get the right tilt to the ellipses for the bottles, the jars, the jugs, whatever, to read correctly. So we're going to do a quick tutorial, a watercolor demo, another little still life working with ellipses to create a sense of form in the sense of a piece of ceramics or something like that, a bottle, So that is always a big challenge for beginning students, is to get those ellipses at the right angle and to get it to read correctly. And there's even a horizon line or eye line, and then 1 point perspective that you have to contend with in this. Sometimes 2 point perspective as well. So in a freaking bottle. I mean, all these things come into play. And it'll kind of be a bit of a perspective lesson as well, but it's about getting those the depth and the thinness or the thickness of the ellipse correct in relationship to the viewer's point of view, where the camera, the eye view is. So anyway, looking down, looking up, whatever. So we'll be working on that. That'll be posting on Saturday. And if you haven't noticed, I did shift my time a little bit from 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm kicking it up. I'm trying to pay attention to the stats and the information that YouTube or vidIQ is giving me about the best time to post my videos. So that's where that's happening, and that's what I've been doing or what I will be doing for this coming week. So yeah, looks like a lot of fun, and it looks like right now the Riley Face 3/4 portrait thing that just dropped a little while ago, it's doing really well already. So there's always seems to be a pretty big demand on my channel, even though it's I started it out as a watercolor channel. There definitely seems to be a huge demand and an interest in learning how to draw basic things and then moving it into drawing people and faces. So as soon as I get through some of these more portrait-oriented videos, I'm going to kick back and get back over to doing some more figure poses again, working with the mannequins, and then working to develop drawings of the human body as well. So I had a couple comments on a couple of my tutorials about the technical terms for certain things that I'm mentioning, and it got lost in a flood, but I did have a huge, big, thick Grey's Anatomy book one time, and I didn't dedicate enough time to studying all the anatomy parts in there. And I know definitely there's a lot of people, a lot of figure drawing and figure artists and people like that really do know the figure and anatomy from that point of view, that very scientific and very technical point of view. So, but if you do learn how to observe carefully whatever your reference is, be it a photograph or if it's a 3D or a live model, you can definitely I think negate some of that. It definitely doesn't hurt to know what muscles and bones are you're looking at when you're observing a figure. So don't let me talk you out of it, but also don't let your lack of knowledge of anatomy keep you from learning how to draw the figure. So it really is an observational skill set that you need to work with and develop. So, So anyway, I hope your creative journey on any of this, whether it's watercolor, drawing basic scenes, architecture, people, animals, I think, you're on that journey. You're somewhere on it. You're going to be in a different path and a different point than other people. So just stay in there. It's it's your own journey. You're going to decide what you like and what you don't like out of all the stuff you've been watching, whether it's on my channel or in somebody else's channel. And you're going to find your way and the thing that you like the best, the styles, the techniques, and everything that seems to make sense for your learning style. So I hope I can just help you along in whatever way. And I like looking at a range of ways of doing things. I'm never really ever tied into one set way, even though stylistically maybe things evolve to a point you do it a certain way unconsciously. But I do like trying out, seeing what other people are doing. And that's what's the great thing about YouTube now, is that you have access to so many people and their ways of doing things and their styles, and you can see what you'll be able to do with enough time, enough practice, and persistence in there. So don't give up. Stay in there swinging, and hopefully I'll get a lot of you guys who are interested in the drawing side of it. I get you swapped over and into the watercolor side of everything too. I think maybe a lot of times people think watercolor is too big of a hill to climb, but it's not. It really isn't. It is so straightforward and simple and flexible and expressive that, if you get your drawing skills honed and really tuned up, you're not going to have any trouble with watercolor. So anyway, let's see here. What am I doing here? Anyway, oh yeah, definitely had some other comments. Yeah, nobody took me to task for anything this week, so it was a better week than the previous week. So, and it was some of my older posts too. So anyway, trust me, I know I am. This is about how my classes go up at the university too. Some of my demos are just absolute train wrecks, but I don't let perfection get in the way of trying to get the information out to you. So I hope you recognize that and realize that that there is information, good, solid, grounded information that I am passing on to you, whether or not my demo turns out and looks good or not. So I have done some butt ugly things. So anyway. But that's okay. You learn from doing all of the things wrong, right? So, I tell my students, and I actually have a coffee mug they gave me. It says, it's like, embrace the suck. You gotta go through it. Everybody's got a certain level and amount of crap that they got to get out of their system before the good stuff starts to happen, and that just takes your time sitting down, picking up that pencil, picking up that brush, and getting started and doing it. And pretty soon the suck will start sucking less, and pretty soon you'll be doing some pretty cool things, and you'll be amazing friends and relatives, and you'll be the toast of the social scene with all the things that you can do, both with watercolor and drawing. And you'll be having a lot of fun too. So, and it's a great way to pass time, going down, I live in the Midwest. That's no big secret. So in the winter, this is the time we all hunker in and pick up our hobbies and our skills and things. And there's nothing to do outside to any great extent. It's too damn cold and windy. So we're in developing all sorts of additional skills that you never would have thought you were going to develop maybe once upon a time when you were younger. So anyway, that's, I hope, where we're going with this channel. If you're new to the channel, this we'll cover about anything. And that's another thing too. Here, let me look. Yeah, I still got about a minute and a half. I've been considering. I didn't know if anybody, let me know in the comments. I was just wondering if anybody had any interest in seeing any digital type of stuff. If you have an iPad or something, they are really good. My students use them all the time at the university. In fact, my illustration class is totally digital, either painting with a tablet connected to a computer or working with an iPad and downloading some apps there. So I've transitioned fine drawing-wise using tablets or an iPad. Painting still has me kind of flummoxed in that, because I like how watercolor works. I haven't found anything that kind of works the way watercolor works. You could create the illusion of watercolor on a tablet, but it doesn't. You don't paint the same way. So I haven't figured that out yet. I'm making some progress. It takes me way too much time to get something decent looking. And like I said in a much earlier video, I just simply don't have the patience anymore for 8 to 10 hour long painting sessions on a piece. So if I can't get it done within an hour or 2 hours, it's pretty much, yeah, I just can't do it anymore. So I like to have the spontaneity and the immediacy of something quick. So there's that. Anyway, any other? I do have some other things. I was going to maybe in my next Talking Watercolor is talking about maybe my path, my journey as an artist, starting out and starting out as an art major, moving into graphic design, working in advertising and freelance illustration, having a business, and then moving into higher education. And now I'm getting prepped with this YouTube channel for my third act, where I move into the content creation on these platforms on the internet. So I want to keep relevant and doing stuff and helping people out. So, but we'll talk about that sometime coming up soon. So, hey, I hope you got some value out of this little chat. And if you did, please give me a like and a subscribe. And if you do think I'm making any decent progress in helping people out with art and design and watercolor, any of that stuff, all these videos, I think about 170 videos now, head over to my Patreon page. The link is in the description. And give me a $5 membership. Just help me keep the lights on and the heat turned up so I'm not freezing to death during the winter months here. So I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys talking watercolor next week.